Hello, family, friends, and students. Today I am going to be taking a look at my Pablano pepper plants, okay? So I have two Pablano pepper plants that I have started this year. So one of them needs to be staked up, and the other one looks like I have a little leaf damage. So come along with me as you help me work on my planting, and I encourage you to do the same also. So some of my supplies that I will be using today are some gardening gloves. I don't always wear them, but it's good to get in the habit of wearing them because you never know what kind of little pest that you might encounter. I'm also going to be using some small little gardening scissors, okay? Both of these items came from the Dollar Tree. So you don't have to spend much as a gardener, whether you are a seasoned gardener, or new to gardening, okay? So what I'm gonna do is just cut off of some of these leaves. They are damaged right here, and they were in another place on the back of my truck, and there's just no telling what kind of insect there was. So that's just a little bowl down there that I'm just dropping my leaves in. Now, because these leaves are damaged, I'm not going to compost these leaves, okay? So I'm just throwing these leaves in the trash can, okay? Now, you do what you feel is good for your plant. And one of the reasons why I'm cutting off of these infected leaves is because it is in a new location. So it will help me to determine if the bug is still here or if it's another kind of insect. So one thing that we want to remember, whenever you're bringing a new plant into a new area, so if you're introducing your plant into a new area, keep it in isolation for a while, okay? Just like you would do a new baby. You know, you're bringing it home. You don't want to just have everyone kissing and hugging on your newborn baby. So your plants are no different. And I'm not going to trim off all my leaves, but again, I'm only doing this because it looks like something was really enjoying my pepper plant. So I am in zone 7A here in Morgan County, Alabama, Decatur. And it's very hot and humid here. As many of you may already know, if you live in the South or if you are here in Alabama gardening with me. Now, I have grown peppers before, but this is my first time growing Pablano peppers. Okay, so Pablano peppers are very shiny and pretty, much like your bell pepper. Okay, but they tend to be more elongated and longer. I have one right here. So y'all just bear with me. Okay, I'm working with a new tripod here. But there's my Pablano pepper. Okay. So there's a large and beautiful population of Hispanic people here. So the good thing about me living where I do here in Morgan County, Alabama, there are lots of different pepper plants that are offered to me versus some other places in Alabama. Okay. So one of those beautiful offerings has been the Pablano pepper. Okay. So this is new. It is an experience. And well, it's an experience and it's an experiment for me, okay? Usually I've grown jalapeno peppers and I've grown bell peppers, of course. Many of us in the South down here in our grocery stores like Publix, and Kroger, you can get what they call the mini sweet bell peppers, okay? And those are good too, but I like to mix it up. These peppers are really good for stuffing You know, if you all are familiar with back in the day, our parents used to have the stuffed bell peppers with the cheese and the ground beef. Well, essentially, you can do the same thing with the poblano peppers. But instead of getting like a bowl shape, you get more like an elongated shape, very similar to your jalapeno pepper. Okay? You can stuff jalapeno peppers. You can certainly stuff the poblano peppers. You can cook with them, all that, because many of you know that I am an educator, and most of my students are of the Hispanic community. So they are nice enough to share many of their recipes with me, or let me try many of their foods from their homeland. So I just love that. And so that's really, you know, encouraged me to step outside of the box and try new things and new recipes. So I encourage you to too. Okay. So this tree, well, look, it's about the size of a tree anyway. But it's starting to look a lot better now that I have cut off a lot of the leaves that were damaged by insects. Okay. It's always some new kinds of insects. So one thing that I have learned throughout my gardening is that you have to pay attention to your garden. Okay, if you're growing plants, don't take on too many. Plant what you like. If you like peppers, plant peppers. If you don't like tomatoes, don't plant tomatoes, because you're more likely to take care of the things that you truly enjoy eating. Okay, so I have been in the garden ever since a very young age. My mother was always outside planting tulips. My father, he had a garden that consisted of a lot of tomatoes. So I've always been outside, always paid attention to what my parents were doing. I am a country girl, so I enjoy being outside. I got sweet blood, so I tend to get bit up a lot. But that's okay. I even got me a little suntan. But hey, we're going to make it work. You want to try to use as many protective equipment as you can. Okay, I'm just moving this plant back. I'm going to trim this down here. You probably can't see, but that's okay. So here in the South, you know, you may want to put on a hat. Put definitely on sunscreen. It don't matter what nationality you are. We all need sunscreen, okay? It's still fairly early here in the morning, so I'm under a little shaded porch, so I don't have to worry about having on a hat, okay? So I have another poblano plant I'm going to share with you right here, okay? Let me see. Here it is. Now this one's a little bit smaller. The other one was about as tall as I am. Okay, so with this one, it does have a couple of little infected leaves. So again, I'm introducing it to a new environment. I see a little pepper there. Sometimes it gets so hot, y'all, down here that the flowering buds, they just fall off. So for my new customers, don't get upset. Don't be discouraged, okay? Just tend to your garden. So what that means is, you know, every day, if you can, in the afternoon, just come outside and spend time in your garden, okay? Look for any pests that may be there. You just got to watch it, okay? So, for example, on my banana plants, caterpillars love banana plants, okay? Especially if you're keeping a lot of your plants outdoors. Being in the 7A, some of our stuff grows well outside, but like the lemon trees, for example, I'll be bringing those inside when it starts to get too cold. Yes, it does get cold in Alabama sometimes, okay? It's cold enough for me, and it's cold enough to bring your plants inside. So I know everybody has their own definition of what cold is. Okay, but these plants, especially if they're new plants, they may not can take a lot of that. So Again, your plants are like children. You have to tend to them. Now, I don't talk to my plants. Some people, they like to talk to their plants. That's fine. That's cool. But I don't really go that far. With these plants, my Pablano peppers, I have been using coffee grounds and eggshells. So the little white and beige pieces that you see, those are my eggshells. Okay, mixed in with the coffee grounds. Just anytime I make a pot of coffee, after it's cooled off, I'll pour the coffee into the soil, and I'll take the coffee grounds and I'll mix them in the soil as well. So that's been a question. Those of you who stop and see me at the farmer's market, okay, well, how much coffee do I need? Just whatever is left over from your pot. Just whatever coffee grounds are left over, put them in there. It provides nitrogen, okay? So no worries. But again, do your own research. This is what I use on mine. Now that it is still early August, my blooms are staying on the trees, okay, from my Pablanos. Because sometimes I have them in bright sun, which just is a little too much sometimes, especially with the Alabama heat. So, and that's one of the benefits about growing in your pots, is that you can move them around if necessary. Okay, move them around. Don't just always look at what the card tells you. Oh, it needs 8 hours of sun, and you just put it 8 hours in the Alabama sun. Maybe that plant just needs 5 hours of Alabama sun, morning sun at that. So just be aware. Don't buy plants and not take care of them. Okay, let's not be those people that they talk about. Oh, look, they got a garden that starts out nice, but you can tell the people who don't water them, and because it's just gotten out of control. So gardening is a lot about maintenance. Okay, maintenance. Start off with one plant, but let me tell you, a lot of these plants can quickly turn into 2 and 3 plants. Okay, so right now I'm just showing you a couple of the little budded flowers up under there. All right, this one doesn't need any watering. Your plants will let you know what it needs. Okay, so don't overwater your plant. So now I have a stake, a little bamboo stake. You can purchase from any of the big box stores, things that you have around your home. Okay, so try to use what you already have. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on gardening. Make you a list so you'll know, hey, what you need. You may need to purchase some gloves, but you may not need to purchase a stake or something to help support your plant. So this is what I'm using this for. It's just something to support my plant. Why? A lot of times as your plant grows, it grows really fast. So one minute you have a little precious baby plant, and then the next minute, your plant is as tall as you are, okay? I'm a petite lady, so a lot of my plants, they at least come up to my waist, close to my neck. So in order for your branches not to break, you want to stake them up, okay? So I'm using zip ties today because this is what I have, okay? Just a zip tie. And I'm going to take off my gloves now because it's easier for me to work. So I'm just taking a simple little zip tie. So all I've done, I put this stake in its soil already, like last night. So all I'm going to do right now is just take carefully and gently, take a stem, okay, preferably one of the tallest ones. And I'm just going to start right up here at the top. And I'm going to take my zip tie. I'm going to put it in the little insert. Now, one thing I've learned, you can leave it a little loose, okay? Don't just put it real tight, okay? Kind of like I have on my little shirt right here, okay? It's still some room for my neck to breathe, okay? You don't want to put it all the way up here. Because if you do that, you are definitely going to end up injuring your plant, more than likely cutting off its growth, okay? Because these stems grow. They grow thicker, okay? Just like the trunks of a tree. So just some words to the wise, okay? Because we all hate when our tree gets really tall, our plant gets really tall, and then it breaks. So in the South, we've had several rounds of storms lately. So make sure that you're out there checking your tree. After every storm, you know, walk your yard. Are there limbs down? What needs to be picked up? It makes a difference, okay? I know we all work. There are other things to do. But for me, gardening is therapeutic. So you make time for your plants just like you do anything else, okay? So I've already used one zip tie up here, and all I'm doing is coming down here, and I'm just adding an extra one, okay? But depending on, you know, what your tree's needs are, you use your zip ties, cords, whatever that you have, string to tie your tree up with. So, again, I'm not pulling the zip tie very tight. And then I'm using my little garden scissors from the Dollar Tree. They're not the best, but hey, they work, okay? And I'm just cutting off that little extra piece right there so it won't be in the way, okay? So now I just have my pepper, my Pablano pepper plant staked up to my tree, okay? So that's all I really wanted to show you all today. I appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I am starting a gardening segment, okay? So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.